But I'll let you say it. Go ahead. Say it. Ivan was right. Say it. Because guess what? I was right. Hello, my little filmer dudes and my super slows. Thank you for joining me on my journey to watch every TV show and every sitcom ever created. Not really, but we are gonna get close. I am currently in a hotel room. Mini vacation, but I brought this with me because so I could watch DTF St. Louis and then break down the finale with you, because it's the finale, it's the final episode. It's finally what the frig happened to Floyd Smyrnage, who is responsible for Floyd's death. And for 6 weeks, we were at least for 4.5 weeks, we were like, is this a murder mystery? This kind of seems like perhaps potentially might have been an accident and or on purpose. And turns out, I mean, obviously spoilers, obviously, but turns out it was, well, okay, a lot of people are gonna be like, it was Floyd himself. No, actually, it was everyone. This is one of those instances in which I didn't say it was everybody, and I should have said it was everybody, and then I would have been accidentally correct, because guess what? It was everybody. Carol had a hand to play. Clark had a hand to play. Richard had a hand to play. But Richard's whole motivation, I guess, is what I got correct. So I would say I'm like 90% correct, just because I like to give myself A's. But I mean, realistically, maybe like an 89. I'm not sure, because it was Richard that pushed Floyd over that edge. And I got it correctly, dude. I said that Richard was going to somehow discover that Floyd is on DTF St. Louis and be like, my dad doesn't cheat, and is gonna get upset because he was cheating on his mom. I said that, and that he was going to lash out at Floyd, and that might have been the thing to make Floyd's heart go awry. But turns out I was mostly correct. He didn't lash out at Floyd. That wasn't a crucial moment, because Richard went to Floyd to confront Floyd, to yell at Floyd, but instead he left. He just, all of that work was just gone. And instead of because if Richard had confronted Floyd, there would have been at least a chance, because there would have been a bond of trust, of I have enough comfortability to yell at you. But he didn't. He set up those walls again, and he essentially rejected Floyd once more. And Floyd saw that, he recognized that, and then, oh my god, dude, I was right about Richard's character, his BPD and everything up until then. But we're gonna talk about what I didn't like about the show, and then my rating and everything in a little bit, but right now we are talking about the good, the reveals, all those things. What I think I like most about this show is that this show is a show about loneliness and the mental health of everyone. Pick a character, male, female, child. Everybody in this show is freaking lonely. And it turns out that the real culprit, the real villain of the series is actually Clark, because Clark is the one who decides that he's going to do everything, not for anybody else, but for himself, for his own selfishness, for his own feelings, because he admires who Floyd is as a person, so insanely selfless. But Floyd gets constantly thrown under the rug, gets pushed aside, because he does everything for everyone else. Nice guys always do finish last. It's so unfortunate. That's why I try to be as mean as possible. But I genuinely believe that Clark is the villain, and the end is a little poetic, because it turns out that everybody, literally everybody, is kind of like what I was saying, what was going to be Emmy's ending for everybody, but it ended up being everybody's ending for everybody, is that Carol has nobody left to love, and she doesn't get any money. If you realize, because Floyd's death is a suicide, that life insurance doesn't count. It doesn't count. So like, that is crazy. I don't know if Floyd realized that. That's something that we're gonna talk about. If we don't, then I'm gonna mention here is that Floyd, I don't know if Floyd knew about that in the insurance, right? Did he think that would get them the money, or did he just say, frig it, I'm done? I don't know, but it's a tragedy. This is not a DTF St. Louis comedy. This is a DTF St. Louis tragedy, because a good comedy, as you know, classic old comedies, when they're actually tragedies, and this, genius, accidentally, the writers. But yeah, Clark ends up completely alone as well. No Floyd, no Eimy, no Carol, no kids. No kids, not even Richard. And then Richard freaking has to live with the fact that he possibly pushed his stepfather over the edge. Did you not see how? I mean, Richard's next, dude. I'm not to be dark, but like, without this resolution or without anything else, Richard's next. Every main character in this show, they're on their way. Someone please send them help. And I love that there's so much discussions to be had in this show. I'm not sure how this show will work as a binge. I am curious, how did you guys watch this show? The ones who are watching this review now, the ones who watch it kind of weekly, did you start watching it from episode 1 or did you start like halfway through? What was your experience with DTF St. Louis? Mine was that I watched it weekly. I watched it one by one and I thought about each episode individually about what the characters are saying, because this is 100% a character-driven show. And as you know, I love me a good character-driven show. Love me a good character-driven show. It's just this one was very good. It's just there's a few things that we need to talk about, I guess, that could have been a little bit better, which we'll talk about, but right now we're talking about the weekly versus binge. Is that I would like to know if this works as a binge. Because again, I thought about these weekly, and that's what allowed me to really dive into each character. So that's the thing about binges versus weekly shows. There are certain shows that are like, yeah, definitely a binge show. There's not a lot of depth here, but it's a good binge. It's a great binge. But then there's like a lot of shows like this where it's just like, ooh, this is definitely a weekly type show. Because if you binge it, you're just like, what the hell did I just watch? Because the show is so good. It's so good with its comedy and its seriousness. It weaves absurdity in its narrative like no other. Although some absurdities were a little bit too absurd, like the rap thing. That was it, the Thunder Boys. Hey, I'm not gonna yuck your yum, I guess. So let's talk about the issues with DTF St. Louis. I already hinted a little bit on this, but I do think that they mishandled Richard's BPD, at least in the sense that if Floyd knew, how did Carol not know? And if Carol loves her son as much as she says she does, and she'll do anything for her family, why hasn't she done what she needed to do for his mental health? And I understand that one's mental health can often block one's view from other people's mental health. And perhaps that's what happened here. But I'm not really sure because Floyd knew. So it's just one of those things where like, I thought the show was going to go a little bit deeper into BPD and what it was, but they didn't at all. And I had to be the ones to tell you guys about what BPD was and why that related to Richard and why I think that was part of Richard's MO for killing Floyd. And turns out, again, I was mostly right. Richard has a ton of outbursts. But we really didn't get to see what those outbursts were, at least not for the milk. Like what triggered the milk? Because we know what triggered the smashing of the glass. And what about the rock throwing? But I just don't know why it was just thrown in there and not talked about. I do think that a responsible show would have at least, because I mean, we can at least kind of see the dangers of not treating mental health, like in all regards, but specifically BPD, which is in children and adults, something that is so much more common than you would think. I do think that it could have been handled a little bit better. And there were so many like dropped hints and dropped elements that sure played a part into the character developments of these people, but then I was like, but what of? Again, the rock throwing, the hand holding at the concert, the fact that Carol broke it off, but like there's so many things that were left unanswered. Like Eimy, we didn't really get to see her perspective, her reaction whatsoever. Again, did she know? Did she not know? And if she didn't know, then I guess she wasn't really that affected. She was like, I mean, this is life. I'ma leave ya. We didn't really get to see like what their family's recovery plans were either. It's just weird. They're just there, not there at the same time. And then there's Carol. I feel like Carol was a little bit flip-floppy. Oh man, I know that like it is revealed that she will do anything for her family, literally anything for her family. So saying yes to this whole Clark whatever ordeal, sure. Saying yes to Clark watching them, sure. Doing all this and that, but in the end, she just doesn't feel it with Floyd. But if she doesn't feel it with Floyd, then why did she break it off with Clark at the concert? She's like, oh, I love Floyd. Oh, I do love Floyd. But she doesn't feel that connection with Floyd. I retract my statement because that can't happen. You can feel love for someone, but have no sexual attraction to them. But it just seemed like a little flip-floppy in the writing department for me. I think there should have been a little bit more clarification on Carol's perspective and what all of this meant for her, like what her reaction was when Floyd asks her to maybe have sex with Clark or whatever. Oh, and what of her ex-husband? What of the ex-husband? How did he get out of the picture? Was it just a divorce? We just know that he was an a-hole, but we never really got any answers for that. None at all, which I mean, I guess it was supposed to be a little red herring, like, ooh, what happened to the husband? Did she kill the husband? Did she kill Floyd this time? No. But I did like what her expunged record was. I thought that was a great misdirect. And lastly, Clark's mindset this entire season doesn't make sense to me either. I understand why he would refrain from talking, but then when he has a lawyer, why he wouldn't just tell his lawyer all of the things? Because if he's innocent, why wouldn't he just tell his lawyer everything so his lawyer could be like, dude, bro, my client's innocent? I just seen all 3 episodes of OG Daredevil. I know how this lawyer shit works. Because it's weird that he would rather quickly admit that he has love for Floyd. Like, again, this man is lonely. He doesn't know himself. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know like anything at all. He wants Floyd, but he can't commit to Floyd. And I don't really know if it's that he wants Floyd or rather he wants to be Floyd. He wants to be kind and happy. In Clark's eyes, Floyd does have that connection with people because he can just do and be with people at any moment. Saving the guy at the pool, that was a clincher for Clark. That's when he knew he wanted to be Floyd. He wanted to be just like Floyd because he loved Floyd. He loved who Floyd was, the idea of Floyd. So was sleeping with Carol in a way like being in Floyd's body. Wow, Clark. And the thing that gets me the most is that he's just like, once the case is dropped, he's like, okay, yeah, sure, it was me. Wouldn't that, or rather it was me at the pool, but wouldn't that then therefore be means for the investigators to say, you just admitted to lying in an interrogation? Get your ass to jail. Just a lot of the things for Clark's mindset just wasn't fully there, which again is the accurate collection of a man who has no idea who he is or what he wants. It's just one of the things that I feel like the editing and or writing could have been a little bit more cleaned up. Because did Carol fall for Clark as well? Yay or nay? I don't know, because she called off the affair. So was there a secret affair happening between the two of them as well? Did I... Right? Is that what that look was when they were just like, oh, I don't want him to feel bad? Oh God, is that what's going on? Oops, I missed it. Had better writing. And finally, the thing that really kind of annoys me the most is that there's no trigger warning and there's no like hotline prevention message at the end of the show. None at all. They're just like, there's the show, sad, bleak, done. I feel, again, in today's cultural climate, it is responsible for any creator to put out there at least either a trigger warning at the start of the episode and or a if you know someone's struggling message, because those things are important to get out there. Because guess what? Someone's gonna watch this and be like, I relate with Floyd, bottoms up. That's not the message that we're trying to give. The show is about loneliness. It's about grief. It's about loss and selfishness, all around, lying, all of the wrong things. And I just think that with as much mental issues this show had, if you know someone's struggling, please call this hotline message at the very end of the show would have been a nice little package to wrap that up. But it didn't, so I mean, that will play a hand in my overall rating. So what do I rate this? I was struggling for a while because I'm like, this is definitely not one of the best shows of the year, although it has one of the best actings of the year. David Harbour, my God, please just give him the award. He's just nominated. I will tear down buildings. Not really, but I will be upset. But then I thought, I do recommend this, but is it one of the best? Probably not. And if it ends up being one of the best, wow, What a rough year. But I do think DTF St. Louis is a solid watch and has a solid messages in there. It's just, I don't know if it'll work as a binge or a weekly. I do think it kind of drags a little bit. I think there's like two and a half episodes in there where you're just like, nothing's really going on. It's not really progressing the story along because you think it's a murder mystery, but turns out it's not that. So I guess maybe we're watching it back. Well, I really don't know, but that is my rating. That is my rating. Let me know what you rate this show. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Did you guess Richard? And did you guess Richard because the same reasons as I did? Or did you think it's Richard because it's gotta be? I want to know. Let's have a discussion in the comments below. Spoilers abound, so you all have fun. My sushi media links are in the description below, and I have reviews for High Potential Season 2, St. Dennis Medical Season 2, coming out at some point this week. Oh, Daredevil Born Again Season 1. I decided to review my thoughts on that one because I just recently watched that, so that's also coming this week before the end of Daredevil Season 2. Also posted a couple reviews on my Serialized for Best Medicine, Company Retreat, all of the Netflix Marvel shows that I just saw, so please go to Serialized, check out all of the things I've been watching this year thus far, and I will see you next time. You've just been Montified.